But is it like distracting from like the session if I were unmuted?
No.
This is new, right? Like this hasn't
No.
happened before?
It's happened it's happened before a few times.
Ugh. Well, let me unplug and try the new headset and see if that's any better. Okay. I'm
Nope.
in the new headset.
I still hear the static.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be a phone jack thing or a Discord thing.
Could be either.
Well, let me put my old headset in because I like that one.
Okay. Carry that. Alright.
Okay, what about now?
I still get it.
I don't know. Well, hang on. Let me take the pop filter off because you said it stopped when that stopped. What about now?
Talk some more.
Yada yada yada.
No, I
My
still
mic's
hear it.
being. What the fuck? This is frustrating. I've literally changed nothing in my settings. I don't. The only thing that's different is the Discord Nitro thing on the server. It's like I don't think that should make any difference.
No, shouldn't.
Voice activity. But I can adjust the sensitivity.
Okay.
Do you hear less now?
I mean, I still hear it, but it doesn't bother me none.
But is it gonna be bad for?
I mean, can't answer.
What about this? Does this help any?
Yeah, I can't hear it now.
I clicked noise suppression option.
Hmm.
I wonder if I could put my pop filter back on. Apparently there's a setting for it in Discord I didn't know about. Also, sorry, this is going to be awkward for a second.
Oh no. I'm traumatized.
ASMR. Yeah. Oh no. But yeah, so hopefully that'll help. If not, I don't know.
Sounds good. Oh, fuck.
Okay. If you can't hear it, then I'm good. If it's still happening, I'll just mute whenever I'm not talking. Because unless the static's loud, I have a feeling my voice will overpower it.
Yeah, it's not loud in the slightest.
Okay. It's just, yeah, I don't want it to disrupt the recording and also the other players. I don't want to be the one staticking out.
Mm.
I had my days back when I first started playing as Tikva where I'd lag out and had to be mute and I was staticky and I don't want to relive them.
No, you're good.
So, what's the plan today? Level 3? Finally? Level 3?
Well, currently I'm going through and moving emails right now.
Oh no, work.
Always work.
It's fall season now, so we're getting pumpkins and stuff in at the orchard, and it was like so busy today. They were like, "You only need to fill in at the register for like 15 minutes." It was more like 20, and there were so many people. We
Mm-hmm.
had to open up the second register again. That had been closed for like months now because we were getting so many people in.
Jeez. That is a good amount.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like a small store. like local stuff. So like having both registers open means it's busy. And that was like 3 hours before closing because I can only work 3 to 6 and it
Mhm.
closes at 6. So like that wasn't even like midday rush.
Mhm. Jeez. Sounds like a fun time though. At least you're getting in.
Yeah, mostly I was just in the greenhouse watering and soaking my tennis shoes.
Yeah. Wait, why were you soaking your tennis shoes?
I'd water and then either the water would run off the tables or the hose would leak and it was just getting all over my shoes. So I had like wet feet by the end of it, but
Mm.
yeah. Apparently we have a bunch of new people though, so less workload to deal with.
Fair enough.
Although I really don't want to have to work an 8-hour Saturday.
Alright, I'll look at that later. And I'll look at that later. What is this?
Yeah, I was
Has been subject to randomized milestone are inactive for the project. Note the randomized milestones are required for project leadership projects. Due to the subject's complete metrics table had been generated with a start month. Okay. I will deal with this Monday. Alright. Sorry.
You're
I
good.
just almost check my email. God, ugh, I am just tired tonight.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, when I was goofing around with Captain, it was a little more energetic, but I just ate dinner not too long ago. So
Mm-hmm.
just sitting here is like, I can really feel that food exhaustion kicking in.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Oh man. I had 2 cups of coffee today, so I don't know.
Also, what do you mean by when you move, you're gonna have like Thanksgiving again and stuff?
Oh,
Do you mean like in person with the group,
yeah,
or
for some of the people who are going to be on the West Coast, I want to do stuff like that.
uh?
So,
I need
and,
teleportation. I need to find the spell scroll in person.
and then we will probably just do a virtual one as well.
Yeah, just
Hmm,
show off all of Wolf's amazing food and everything, and just be like,
pretty
haha,
much.
you wish.
Mm-hmm. But it'll
Basically.
be a
As
nice
soon
way
as
to get
Wolf
the group
was
together.
like, yeah, as soon as Wolf responded in general, like, oh, y'all have no clue, I was like, yeah, I know your cooking's gonna be amazing.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about making
Probably
another
gonna
cup of
be
coffee.
eating like microwavable mac and cheese or something. Cause
Hello, Mitchie.
Oh,
if I go to a
hello.
family function, if I even go this year, it's just gonna be awkward.
Oh, that sounds fun. This is
Yeah.
the year to come out of the closet to all of them. That'll make it even more entertaining.
No, I'm good. And you think out of the closet like that? I mean, I guess that's the right term, but it's yeah.
BRB.
I mean, to be fair, they probably hate me anyway. So, hi, hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, you sounded so sad.
Yeah, why would they hate you?
It's a long story. I have a bit of a family drama, but put it simply, I guess I have a lifestyle choice question mark. That's what you want to call it.
Uh-huh.
Identity they wouldn't
Uh-huh.
agree with, so
Uh,
they don't know
um,
about it. But in fact,
hmm,
most people don't know about it, so
hmm, hmm,
that's fun.
hmm. Well, they suck.
Thanks. You're I'm inspired. You should be a bard. Bardic inspiration, man. Does wonders, you know.
mm,
You just
mm-hmm.
need that 1d8, 1d6, 1d10 to just not die.
Ah, what's a bard? A musician?
Basically, kinda, yeah. It's well, not all are musicians. That's primarily it. I know some people flavor it where it's more dancing or more like writing, or I think there's even some art subclasses. But yeah, it's usually
Entertainers.
playing music. Yeah,
Mm,
singers usually musicians. You can do a bunch of fun stuff, but the main thing's like bardic inspiration, which is where you
mm,
like perform a song or say something inspiring to a ally, and they get an extra dice roll. So like first few levels it's a 1d6, higher levels it's 1d8. I think it can go up to 1d10, and basically, depending on the subclass, they can add it to their saving throws, ability checks, sometimes even damage and attack rolls. So it's just like a useful little boost thing if you want to be more of a booster or something of the sort, like a support class, if that makes sense. Because they're definitely too squishy to be tanks. You could take some healing spells and sort of serve as a makeshift healer. Zaya's done that before, but they're not really healers. You could get some good spells, especially like long range spells at higher levels. For Bard, but a lot of your stuff's gonna be charming people, magical effects, area effects, some like DC stuff for the monsters or enemies. Yeah, a lot of stuff like that. Like helping control the battlefield mainly. But again, playstyle varies, subclasses varies. You could probably play a tanky offensive bard if you got the right stats and equipment and stuff. That would be a funny image. You got your loot, and at the end it just has a knife on it. Would you allow the shank flute, DM?
What?
The shank flute.
Sure,
You
why
just play
not?
your flute, hit a button, and then a knife. I've joked about it because in flutes there's a little part you can unscrew for tuning that like is hollow inside, so you could theoretically fit like a small blade in there. And like I've joked about my band teacher, like I could put a knife in this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you do.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes.
So shank
God.
flute, man.
No.
I think there's like a violin or a viol or something, or a viola, like where they actually like have a knife like built into it or taped to the end of it. I swear I've seen an image of it online before.
Mm-hmm.
And the assassin. See, bards are really good. Also, I forgot to mention because they get jack of all trades and like expertise and stuff, which basically means your proficiency bonus. Like I'm sure if you go into Miscaria's skills, she'll have the little black circles near where she's proficient, and she adds her proficiency bonus. Bards get half of that for everything in things they're proficient in. They get full proficiency, and you can even get double proficient with expertise and add double your proficiency bonus. That's why my bard at 10th level now, plus the magic item, has a plus 14 persuasion deception because of that. So they're really good at getting high stats, basically. And if you multi-class them, they're usually really good with stuff like Warlock, which is a charisma spellcaster. Sorcerer is another charisma spellcaster. If you have a stealthier bard, you could probably do a rogue multi-class would be good, which is what Captain did recently. Yeah, if you ever had a character that wanted a lot of expertise and a fun entertainer factor, just level 1 dip in a bard, and you suddenly have expertise and everything.
Hey,
Or not expertise, that's higher level, but jack of all trades, which
question.
is still
Mitchie, are you a big fan of folk music? Like medieval music and such?
Oh, I think I'll listen to anything.
I got something for you
Yeah,
to listen to.
I think medieval and folk music's cool. I found this girl who she does like medieval covers, music and singing, of popular pop songs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, there's no music in that. Don't listen to that. That was just no. How do I can't delete your post. Gosh darn it.
you can't.
I don't have the power. I can mark unread. That does nothing.
Pretends it's not there.
I do not see. No, but there's like I have to find her. I think it's Hilda Van Bligren or something. I've sent one of her things earlier. She's done stuff like what was it, Toxic, something else, Bad Romance. No, it was Bad Romance, not Toxic. But it's like medieval, but like Pumped Up Kick. She did a medieval cover of. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Apparently, bardcore is an actual genre of music I didn't know about, where it's like medieval, but like epic, because bards.
Wow.
So if you ever want to see Bard stuff, you could just look up Bardcore, apparently.
I'll do it after the after the thing.
Yeah, campaign
Open.
session.
The session.
Yeah, because campaigns like the whole story. Sessions are
Mm.
what we call these individual like episodes. Like campaign would be like the whole TV show series, and then sessions are like one episode of it. Because
Mhm.
like some campaigns go on for years, so
Oh yeah.
unless you want to dedicate the rest of quite a few years of your life to just sitting here in this one session, gonna want to break it up.
Mhm.
Which would suck for me because I have other groups, one of which is in the same world. So I'm stuck in this one group.
Mm-hmm.
Just nothing would happen. And plot wise, Sunday's group's got a lot more going on in the DM's world because we're late game now, or getting there.
Can you hear me chew?
Yes.
Oh.
Kind of, but not really.
Oh.
I
Oh,
wouldn't
did
have.
you say chew? I thought you said, can you hear me too? No, I cannot hear you chew.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I didn't really hear anything until you mentioned it. I just heard, like, you existing.
I haven't eaten. That's why I'm eating an
That's
Oreo.
fine. I ate dinner, like, just before.
Shame on you, Mitchie.
I was busy.
You need to eat.
It's just throw it an apple to even things out.
You poor
An apple.
child. Go eat something.
Mom.
I don't understand talking with your mouth full. And I've had to tell that to every woman I've dated. Don't think too hard on that, because you're not going to catch my meaning.
It's no, okay. Just ignore
Okay.
it.
That wasn't the
Ignore
meaning. That's why I said don't think too much on it. Jesus Christ, you people.
There's two possible meanings, and one
Yeah,
of them I
it's the
don't want
fact
to
that I like to
mention.
take people out on dates to go to restaurants, and they always talk with their mouth full.
Okay.
Fucking
Yeah, that's what.
goddamn people.
That was my first assumption, but then I was thinking. Obviously, there's the other thing.
I
Yeah,
just
Fuka,
said
save
don't
us.
think too hard on it.
You say it with a tone of voice that had not innocent connotations to it.
There's nothing innocent about what I talk about in any category.
Exactly.
I'll mute then.
Oh man. I'm gonna have to watch this later. Most poorly delivered line I've ever seen in a film. What? Okay. What is this? What is this?
Where's Henry? Come to fight him in our army's stead. No.
What the hell?
His offer was refused. The offer has been reconsidered. I said no. Why is the little dog barking?
I have good ideas. DM for meme chat. Here you go.
Let's see. Lady Dickinson used a common meter, and so her poems can all be sung to the tune of the.
That's a way farther up.
Do you not realize how little I go into this damn chat?
You could read that one if you want.
I'm never in here. Yes, I've seen that. The magical items. It's very well known.
Darn. You see the funny counterspell meme I posted yesterday?
Nope.
With Thanos.
But I have the perfect song to play during this. For Twitch.
Ever so fell is so strong. He did not deny death once but thrice. Dibbis, a fellow so good that for his friends he'd sacrifice his life. May it be known that he was a king, although missing his throne. Dibbis, a friend to the end, the bravest of soldiers, the mightiest of men. May he live on in this song. May his name carry on, carry on. May he be
No
Yo.
one home, come back
happy.
again.
I can't tell if I've been having mic
be
issues or if no one is talking.
Dibbis,
a phallus so strong, with these he'd slay enemies. Dibbis, a phallus that's so not mic, I guess it's just Discord or headphones. But I can hear you guys now. You're talking. That means I'm not glitched out. But a lot of times I get glitched out, so that's why I was asking. Who's looking forward to today's session? Yes? Raise of hands. I can't see your hands. Why'd you raise them? Trick question. May he live on in this song. May his name carry on, carry on. May he be happy. Dibbis, may you be free.
Oh,
And,
How?
that was
How
fun
are
to
you
play.
rolling? How
Huh?
are you rolling?
Me?
I just use my other hand. I just use one hand for everything.
Wait.
Oh.
What? What are you doing with your one hand?
Using
It's
it for
messed
everything 'cause
up.
the other one's got shut in a car door.
Oh,
Apparently.
okay. That's not where I thought this was going.
Did you not hear him
You
the
need
first time?
you need to get your mind out of the gutter, sir.
It was born there. It didn't see innocence or decency until I was already a man.
It wasn't born in the gutter. It was born in the sewers, and it's upgraded to the gutter now.
You're not wrong.
Exactly.
Maybe Flint, you should get your mind into the gutter.
I like a clean mind. I like a nice, organized mind.
Yeah, it's better to eat the brain when it's clean. Hygienic.
Exactly.
But you're never gonna really
How
like me.
mind flare. That's why mind flayers eat innocent people first.
No. No, it's like a horror film. They eat gay and black people first. That's always the rule.
They like the people with the tastiest memories.
Well, then the spiciest. Well, then the bard's going first.
No one wants that many STDs.
The bards are
Mental
like
STD.
they're like what are those called? They're like truffles. They're like aphrodisiacs.
Oh,
And the
God.
sorcerers are like chili peppers.
What are the warlocks?
The warlocks are like coffee flavored, like one of those
Are the blood hunters
like
like blood sausage?
the blood
Or, like,
hunters
raw
are definitely
meat?
sausage. Yeah.
Blood
The
sausage.
warlocks are like those like espresso beans covered in chocolate.
Why do you have such particular flavors?
Barbarians are
Are
those turkey
fighters
legs
just
you get
like
from
plain?
Disneyland. Fighters are boiled chicken.
That's how I feel right now, Cap.
What about rogues? What flavor are rogues?
Royce, I could still go for that drink right about now. Christ.
I don't know. That's a good one.
I'll tell you what, Jacob, after
What
this
choice?
session, I'll pour a drink for the both of us.
I think they're like
Okay.
Toblerone.
Miguel is still on this subject. God damn it, let it go.
What about Druid?
No, shut up.
What did I come back into?
The next
Druids are
person,
like
the classes as flavors.
the next person who decides a flavor for a class is going to take 1d10 worth of permanent damage to their health. Thank you. Oh my god. It does not mean go and post it in meme chat. Whoever the fucker just did that.
What
Okay.
happened in meme
I
chat?
thought someone was gonna
Nothing.
pose it in
No.
meme chat.
There was probably just the messages you haven't read yet.
And never will.
Oh, you made it too in Heroes Forge?
Yeah, I got bored. And Fel was in a bad mood, so I was trying to cheer them up. Sadly, it did not work. They cheered up on their own. So. Alrighty. Now that we have the crew here. Are you talking, Air?
No.
Okay.
My mic just picks up whatever fucking ambiance there is in the background. It's just this ghost Steve. Don't worry about him.
Must be the same, your new roommate at the apartment complex you're looking at. Last time we left off, the group known formerly as the Halcard Company, and we'll see if they keep the name, managed to storm the castle. All but Grimm survived and managed to stay standing for the most part, minus Flint, who created a posse of his own after getting himself KO'd.
A
No.
frat.
There we go. Okay, a frat.
Goblin frat! Woo!
Oh man, he's gonna be the guy who picks up followers everywhere just because of this.
All by the name of, what was it, Michael?
Yeah.
No. Matthew,
Matthew.
Trapezoid, and then the leader's name is Beatbox.
Yeah, but Trapezoid's dead.
No,
Trapezoid didn't die.
Trapezoid almost died.
He took 3 points of damage. He's still kicking it.
Sorry for interrupting, Royce.
I'm
keep
gonna
going.
kill those goblins. So yes, as the party managed to defeat the goblin castle, managed to take over and get some very unique prizes, as well as get some interesting news and meet some new people. Afterwards, Air was given the title of the leader or the commander of the Halcard Company, in which case he is now taken full control of. The party comes back to the evening with the sun having gone down, the entirety of the party having relaxed and kind of camped out around a fire, Grim beginning his ritual casting, Flint messing around with his fraternity, Bragan being Bragan, and Mascaria didn't ask. Alright, so we come back to evening as food is being passed around. The sun is going down. Drinks are being brought out for a new victory under the belt, for a contract being paid in full, as one of the Dragonborn commanders brought the gold chest straight to Air's tent. There we go. God, I'm tired tonight. And showing off that was almost 2,000 gold pieces in a straight chest for the entire company to be split up amongst them. After getting a general count, most of you figured that about half the Halcard Company did not make it through the full battle, and slowly you guys have become a unit of only 40 people. And thus we come back.
Well, shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking around for people who speak Goblin in the company.
And you see none. Most are avoiding you, in fact, Flint, seeing these goblins.
Dang it. Alright.
I would like to seek out the company treasurer so that they can divvy up the gold evenly.
As you head out, the person you remember who is signing you guys on, as you look about, you finally catch an eye of him. He's in a pile of corpses that are being burned.
I facepalm at that and just do the math myself.
Alright. Let's go ahead and give me an intelligence roll.
I can do that. 20 combined.
Okay. You realize every person within the company should be receiving, if it's exactly equal, 50 gold pieces.
Unless you want to favor people.
Typically, if the initial party survives, they're supposed to get more. So I'll give
Yeah, this is an
our
increase.
group What'd you say?
This would have been an increase from the contract you were offered when you originally signed up. You were only guaranteed a gold piece per kill.
This is true. If it's gonna be even, then I'll make it even, but I'll have our little group, me, Flint, Grim, Viscaria, and Bragan, 10 gold pieces extra for being the initial group.
Alright. So that is... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Let's see. So... That would be 1,700 in total, then split amongst the rest of the company, which would be 35. So everyone would get 48 pieces of gold, and you'd still be left over with about 5 silver pieces.
I'll give 1 silver piece to each one of us. Just easy math.
Alright, so each of you receive 60 gold pieces and 1 silver piece. Feel free to add that to your inventory.
I give my silver pieces to my frat, and I say, don't spend it all in one place.
You give them a single silver piece.
Yeah.
Sorry, how many gold did you say it was? The 60?
60 gold pieces, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Alright. As you order one of the soldiers to start handing it out alongside a few others, the soldiers start lining up and each start collecting their piece, their paid contract. After you see the gold kind of empty out of the chest, you start getting a rough count, and you're now down to about 35 members left of the company.
Fucking
I
fantastic.
mean, 40 if you count my friends.
Did people leave or die?
People are leaving as they're seeing people just walk out of the camp with their gold in hand. Those who are severely injured seem to be leaving for the most part.
Okay.
Which is fair, I suppose. Where was the guy? I was talking to him like right before I went to my tent. He was telling me about the commands that the last commander was previously given. I can't remember them off the top of my head.
The gnomish halfling, the
Yeah.
gnomish halfling looking man that called himself Silverthread.
Yeah, Silver Thread.
That mentioned the
Little
fact that they
finger.
were looking for someone by the name of, let me find the name exactly in here. Un momento, por favor. Yes, for those wondering, I do speak Spanish. Very little, though. Yes, that the leader was looking for a woman
Die
by
kannst
the
sprechen
name...
gut von Deutsch.
Fair enough. We're looking for a woman by the name of Melina Terror.
Alright, so...
As you look
And then
about
the
for
last known location?
yeah. And as you look about for the halfling, or the gnomish halfling, you haven't seen him. No head, no tail.
How late in the day is it at this point?
You'd guess around 7, 8 p.m. A lot of people are starting to kind of camp up and bring out drinks and stuff.
To go inside my new tent and see what all is inside.
Okay. We will come back to you in a moment.
Sounds good.
Flint, Grim, Mascaria, and Bragan. As you lot finally finish up getting out of line, having been given 60 gold pieces and a silver piece each, you find yourselves kind of being watched by the other members of the company. You hear on occasion whispers of favoritism and looking at you lot to see if you're going to be the new commanders. A few of the soldiers are kind of watching to see what's going to happen. As the cook
Hey,
brings out...
Grim. Hey, Grim. Hey, Grim. Hey. What are you gonna spend with your gold? Hey, Grim. Hey, Grim.
What?
What are you gonna do with your gold?
actually kill you.
Ha! Nice one, dude. I slap him on the back.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna spend it on like a cool battle axe or something. I don't know. Maybe like a couple beers for me and the boys, or like maybe a house. I don't know. How much is 60 gold worth? I didn't take economics in college. Anyways, I'll see you around, Grim. Haha, cool. We're friends.
Meanwhile, Mascari and Brigand just watch as this happens as Grim continues to ritual cast. All right. Miss Scaria, is there anything you'd like to do? Drinks are being brought
No,
out. Food is being brought out. Is there anything in particular?
I'll just eat.
All right. As they bring you out a bowl of what you guess is some sort of muck mixed with mushrooms, mashed into it, as you can kind of get a scent off of it. Comes out hearty and thick, at least. So, as there seems to be more food for those who are left.
Yay!
All right. Bragan, is there anything you'd like to do?
Yes. What time is it again? It's late evening, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So it's just starting to get dusk.
Mhm.
Do I know what the provisions are? Like how many we have, like food wise?
You do not.
Okay, I don't really need to. I would like to. Well, I think Bring would like to attempt to go out hunting. Deer mainly. I guess whatever else she could find, because she didn't get to last night. Sure, the provision stock could always use more food, and she'd like to just get out and get some fresh air anyway.
Okay. As you head out of camp and head into the smaller little grassland forest that you see off in the distance, heading in that direction, a few of the elves that you remember watching Flint drink with the other night seem to offer to join up with you, having bows in hand, ready to go.
Okay.
All right, we will come back to you in a moment, Bragan. Air, as you are heading into the tent, you see the very nice bed designed with red silk sheets, a fluffy pillow of goose feathers, and a giant chest, as well as a small weapons rack that seems to be empty. Um, a desk with a couple of papers on it, written in Gnomish from what you can see. Um, what were you looking for in particular?
I was looking to see if I could find uh, basically like a battle axe, and if I couldn't find that, um, I was going to try to find um, some steel that I could just smith a battle axe for myself because I am proficient with that.
You do see a couple of iron ingots. You're from what you can gather, it seems like these will be a decent enough, or there's enough here that you could probably smith something.
Okay.
You just need a smithy now, which you don't recall seeing one in the camp. And you can hear cheers and jokes and laughter coming from a little while away from what you're guessing is probably the same direction as where the Dragonborn army went and camped out for the night.
There's a wood fire, right?
Yeah, there's fire pits all around.
Okay, I would like to make a contained wood fire forge, which I do know how to make that.
Okay.
If you want me to describe how to make it for you.
You're welcome to if you'd like for the stream.
Well, basically what you would do, you would have uh, anywhere from either mud or clay, if you had that accessible, that'd be super useful.
Mm-hmm.
Pit in the ground, and you would fill it with lots and lots of kindling to get a really hot fire to start, and then you would put just typical wood logs as the actual source of the fire. And then you would use said mud or clay um, to form kind of like a little bit of an oven, and that's how you get the forge going with a small spout to get the smoke out and more airflow in, and that's how you can make a quick temporary forge.
There you go. You all learned something new tonight. All right.
Wow.
as you head out to one of the little fire pits or areas that are kind of empty, you start digging up a pit. It's gonna take you a little while. You imagine it'll probably be dark by the time you're done with everything, but you find a molding design you can make that should be shaped well enough to make a battle axe. Find some wood that should work well enough for a handle, and we'll come back to you.
Cool.
Grim, is there anything you'd like to do while you're sitting there ritual casting?
I'm hunting alligators.
Hunting alligators?
Ooh.
Okay. Alright, as you head out on your own, heading in the same similar direction to where you saw Bragan go off with the other hunters, give me a perception check.
15.
15? Okay. After about 20 or so minutes walking through the forest, you hear a very loud and shrilling scream. You recognize this kind of a scream as a scream similar to what those men who fought against your papa in battle most of the time, and when it usually was associated with him devouring one of his enemies. You also hear the howl of a wolf off in the distance, in the same direction.
Oh, metal.
I go to it.
Okay. Heading in the general direction, about 20 or so moments later, give me a moment to build something real quick. Alright. Let's see if I can see it. You see a very large, very ugly bear walking about. And it has in its mouth an elf.
Do I know who this elf is?
This looks very similar to one of the elves that helped Flint make strawberry jam.
Okay, what does that have to do with me?
Nothing, it's just you happen to see this creature chewing on this elf.
Is he dying?
The elf looks to be dead. Is there anything you'd like to do, Grim?
If you're talking, Bud, we can't hear you.
Grim? Hello?
I'm thinking. Um,
That's right, you've got a cold, I forgot about that.
yeah, no shit.
Well then why are you here? You could have told me you were gonna be sick.
Wow, thank you for now listening. Holy shit, this is the first chance in forever.
Grim.
Alright, so as Grim sees this, realizing that it's not well worth getting involved, he turns and heads off in his own direction. You still in a bad mood, or are you gonna play nice?
Um,
Is that a yes?
Fine.
Alright. So as you see this thing, realizing it's really not worth your time, turning around to leave it alone, heading off to continue your hunt for giant lizards and such. After about an hour's worth of running through the forest, you finally come across the small swamp where you do eventually find an alligator that seems to be ignoring you overall. What's up, Muscaria?
Nothing.
Okay. And as you manage to kind of jump on it and grapple it in the swamp, pull it, or managing to get your arms around its neck and snapping the neck, dragging it back to camp. By that point, you see here comes Bragan with a deer or two deer on her shoulders, looking completely as if nothing's gone wrong. And as the party returns to the fire, they begin to cook up their meats and begin to everything. Bragan, we come to you for a moment.
Okay.
As you head out into the forest, you look up at the sky and you see the full moon in all of its beauty. Then things for some reason go dark. The next thing you realize, about a half an hour later, from what you can tell, as you're looking up at the sky, you see yourself standing next to two dead deer that look as if they've been shot or stabbed multiple times, and you have blood on your mouth and all around. You also notice the two elven hunters that had gone with you are nowhere to be seen.
I look at my hands.
There is blood all over your hands.
I wipe the blood off on a cloth or something I assume I have in my pack.
Mm-hmm.
I look around. What tracks do I see?
As you look about, go ahead and give me a survival check for that.
Okay.
All right.
21.
Looking about, you see the deer that seem to have come come from different directions. You see a couple of what looks to be off in the distance a little bit, the ways behind you. Some deep grooves in the ground as if something was slid across it, right beside bear tracks. Very large bear tracks.
Where do the bear tracks seem to lead?
Lead to? Currently where you're standing.
Do I feel different from when I first went out into the woods?
You feel fuller.
Particularly, yep.
Mm.
Fragan's going to look back up at the sky. Full moon.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking at it, does she feel anything?
Nope.
She'll look back at the deer.
Mm-hmm.
They have stab wounds. Did they look to be from her sword?
No. They are too small. Almost as if punctured by a very round dagger.
Mm. Got it. She's gonna take a glance around. No sign of the elves, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to cover up what I can of the quote unquote crime scene. Displacing leaves, covering up the tracks, even mutilating the deer carcasses if I need to.
Okay.
Once that's done, she loads the deer up on her shoulder and heads back to camp.
All right. As you come back to camp, you eventually see, as you're exiting the forest after kind of clearing up everything the best you can, not seeing any hide nor tail of the elves. You finally come out of the forest, and you see off in the to the distance to your left, there's Grim carrying a very large alligator on his shoulder, heading to the same direction as you are. And as you come into the camp, Miscaria and Flint, as well as Air, who at this point has kind of come out and started working on his forge and everything, can all see that you have blood around your lips, as well as the two deer, one on each shoulder. And the party is dead silent.
Sorry, I just realized that I was still muted. Would I have noticed since I was like focused on the forge?
Oh yeah, as Bragan walks by, it's a pretty traumatizing sight. It immediately catches your eye that there's a mass amount of blood all around her mouth.
I am assuming that I'm crouched down on the ground, so I'm gonna stand up and grab her shoulder.
All right, as you go to reach,
Bragan
you touch
immediately.
the deer.
Yeah, Bragan. If she can sense he's there, she'll like whirl around quickly
Okay.
to address him.
As
Like
Bragan
if
turns
someone
to look at
approaches from
you.
behind. Whoop.
What kind of demeanor are you giving me? Like, what the fuck? Why are you touching me? Or just like,
Like just on the defense, like alert, like she sensed someone behind her, immediately turned around to confront it, which is her usual demeanor.
Whoa, did you bite this thing's throat?
What? No, Ugh, I don't have fangs. Like this blood, it is of my my kind. I deal with magics of the blood. It's nothing to be concerned of. I have to deliver this to the food pile, and Bragan's gonna keep walking.
Can I roll
Alright, if you
insight
say
on
so.
that bullshit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Let me roll with my -1, boys.
I
Unlike
trust you
Maya.
completely.
Flint goes back to
Hey.
drinking with goblins.
Okay, let me know whenever you're ready to hear the number.
Go ahead.
How's
I
a
got a
21
14.
for that bullshit?
Oh.
All right. As you, as Bergen begins to walk away, you think to yourself, you know, you grew up with a blood hunter in your village at one point who was pretty well versed in the skill overall. You don't recall them ever spitting up blood. Cutting themselves, sure, but spitting up blood seems unusual. That only comes from a fight.
I'm not going to address it, but I'm certainly on guard as the fact that Bragan felt the need to lie.
Do
Also,
I
Air,
see
give me a
his posture
perception
change
check.
at all when I
No.
walk away?
Nope, you
Um,
don't notice it.
I didn't hear what you said.
Air, give me a perception check.
I can do that. That's an 18.
Okay, give me a moment.
Oh boy.
Let me find you in here.
So is everyone having fun tonight?
So far,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, how's the goblin fraternity going, Flint?
It's good. Next time we go to a town, I need to find like a wizard or something to teach me how to speak goblin.
Get a book, goblin book.
Yeah, buy a book about how to speak goblin.
Do I know Goblin?
Because I need to talk to my bros.
It's a sublanguage of Dwarvish. If you know Dwarvish, you might be
Oh,
able to.
lovely. I do know Dwarvish. But I saw that, Royce. That's lovely.
Mhm. It's clean too. Like you almost admire the cleanness to it.
Am I able to tell that it's fresh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's talking about a suit.
No, he's
But
talking about
again-
The suit is
Flint's
fresh and
speaking
it's clean.
skills. He's talking about Flint's speaking skills. They're very
But again-
fresh.
Oh, yeah, totally. I've got such a way with words, you know?
Bragan.
Bragan pauses. Doesn't turn around yet though.
Not this current moment, but I'm gonna need to borrow you after I get to a pausing point over here. Is that right?
Sure. And she keeps walking.
All right.
Uh-oh.
As Flint enjoys the
Yeah.
booze that is being brought out one after another,
The booze and the drama.
just watching as he eats from his stew bowl. Mascaria sitting
Yeah.
beside him doing the same.
Oh, boy.
Grim just gnawing on an alligator raw.
This is better than any play in Dragon's Gate.
After a few moments, you've managed to finally finish, or after a little bit, you finally find yourself at a point where you can take a moment. Okay, I see what you're trying to do.
Just thought you would want visual reference.
Okay. As you start to kind of pour it into the mold, you see that Bragan finally returns back to the group after having dropped off the deer. Still not noticing anything off, other than the fact that she has cleaned her mouth off as she drops the venison or the new captured venison at the cook's tent. Cook not even giving her a side glance as he continues working away at the mush for the night, as more and more of the troops are taking seconds since now there's plenty of food to go around. You see Flint in
Now
line,
it's
of
meat
course.
mush.
Yeah. As you come back, you see that Flint is still drinking and joking with the goblins. One who speaks semi-broken common, the goblin boss of the group. I believe his name was Trapezoid. Is that correct, Flint? Who has muted himself for a moment as he is dealing with something, so we'll come in. All right. And as
No, Trapezoid was one of the regular
Uh,
goblins.
the boss's name is Beatbox.
Oh, okay. As Beatbox speaks some very basic common and starts cracking jokes about the life of a goblin to Flint, left and right. trying
Ah,
to make
good
him
one,
laugh.
dude. I never even thought about that. Holy shit.
Bragan, as you return, you see that Air is pouring some metal into a cast and seems to be dipping a cast as it's cooling into water to get the proper shape and design, and begins working a stone and some sandpaper across it.
Okay. Brigham will take a seat by the fire, still taking no food or any drinks, and just sort of side eye while just going through checking her weapons and equipment.
As you begin checking your weapons and equipment, Bragan, you do feel something kind of wet on as you sit down.
Did you sit in a fart?
Can I perceive what it is?
Yeah, what's your passive?
My passive, let me double check. Pretty sure it's fairly high. A passive is a 14.
Okay. Yeah, as you go reaching around, you touch something. It's very kind of mushy, and it feels very glossy. And as you pull it out and just kind of side glance at it, kind of being cautious, you recognize this as a very pale piece of skin with long blonde locks on it.
I, without anyone noticing, quickly toss it into the fire. Subtle hand motion,
Give me a
really like smooth, like I'm sharpening my blade, and in the motion I flick it into the fire.
Give me
And
a
I
sleight of hand
tried to
check.
perceive that.
You're busy
Knowing-
working, motherfucker.
Yeah, but I know what you threw in.
Sleight of hand or stealth?
Sleight of hand.
Great.
Ooh, can I make a perception check?
Something
go
I'm
ahead,
not
Flint.
proficient in. Okay.
20, baby.
18. Oh god damn it.
Well,
Yep.
I rolled a nat 1, so it's only 6. You're lucky.
All right, and Miscaria, do you want to
Focus
give
on
me?
your
Can you give me a
foraging.
perception check as well?
Let me be mysterious.
Well, one's already caught you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Miscaria.
You're muted, Miscaria.
Muscari is not muted, just not talking.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, she shows is muted for me.
Maybe that's the issue. They are typing currently. Oh no! What's wrong?
Have you tried leaving and
yeah.
rejoining?
I assume they can hear us.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure they can hear.
All right. Give him a
Yo,
moment.
Bragan, did you just throw a piece of skin into the fire?
I think you've been drinking too much of this fruit.
Ta-da.
Maybe put down
Hello.
on
Oh,
the
we can hear ya.
elbow.
Oh, hello.
And Bragan doesn't even bother looking up from her sword.
Okay.
That she didn't use that battle, but she's still sharpening it. taking care of
Miscaria,
it.
give me a perception check. You sound so tiny. Oh my god.
I'm
Well,
5'5".
compared to Bragan,
You are tiny.
she's
Ooh.
taller than me. By an inch.
Yeah, but you're also okay. All right, Miscaria, what'd you get? 16.
Got an 18 sleight of hand.
So yeah, as you look, or you kind of, the fire kind of catches your eye for a second. You're enjoying the warmth coming off of it. And as Bragan tosses this thing into the fire, Flint, you see and smell what smells like some sort of piece of the elves from, or something of the elves from earlier. You recognize the scent of their booze.
What'd you just toss in the fire, dude?
I don't know if I found it. I assume was left over from the battle earlier. You know, you get bits and pieces in places like goblin gunk. I had hobgoblin gunk on my boots I had to clean off earlier. It's nothing to worry about. People use the battle, they know about it. I don't think you would, but it's common. She still doesn't look up from her blade.
Awesome, awesome,
I'm
awesome.
assuming I'm too far away to hear this conversation.
Yeah, you're too well into what you're working on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know how I am when I'm forging, and people could be right behind me. I won't pay attention to fuck all.
All right. So, as you begin working, or as you finish up your work, Air, kind of at this point, you're kind of just more sharpening, polishing, making the blade or the axe look nice. Go ahead and add a battle axe to your inventory.
Yay!
Do give me a
I'll
D1.
do so, and this is visual representation for you guys.
Give me a D100 roll for it though.
Okay, just a
Is
sec.
that a
Where
axe
the-
gun?
No, it's
No, the
Oh.
ring is just there for grip.
I know, but it looked like a trigger. I was
Yeah,
like,
it
"Wait a
is
second."
segmented. I don't want that ring there, but it's like the only one I could find that like
You're good.
think of it without the ring.
Okay.
That's fine.
No Lord of the Rings here. Look at copyright strike.
God damn
Oh
it.
my god. D100 roll. Okay. I
What'd you?
I got 69.
All right.
Heyo!
It's a normal
Nice.
battle axe. Feel free to add that to your inventory.
Okay.
All
What
right.
was I rolling for?
To see if it could gain a +1 to it or not.
Ah.
And I have a percentile I set it at. Alright, so as you finish up, you're at this point kind of joined back with your group. Grim's still chewing on his alligator, and Flint's still chatting up with his goblins, although he seems to be eyeing Bragan up kind of differently, and Mascaria's enjoying the fire. What would you like to do, Air, if you'd like to do anything?
Sorry, I was adding that to my sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And equipped. Okay. Um. Now that I am done, I am going to basically wave Bragan over.
What isn't he right at the fire?
He was at his own little thing that he had built into the ground,
Oh.
off to the side.
How far away is he?
He's only a couple meters away from you guys. It's not too far off because he's got a lot of the campus centralized.
How far away is he from other passerby in the camp?
Well, you don't see any other fires around him other than your own.
Bragan will just grunt, put her sword away, and just start walking over at a casual, slow pace.
All right.
Can I make a stealth check to?
Just about to
Follow?
ask. Go ahead, Flint. Stealth check for me.
Do I get to roll perception?
Nope.
What?
Just
okay.
Just a 15. Not crazy.
What's your passive, Bragan?
14, since I don't get to roll.
All right, Flint.
Yes!
My passive is 15.
All right, Flint, as you kind of start to walk directly behind the goblins following along, Air, you see the long trail of goblins and Flint following in Bragan's footsteps. Bragan has no clue what's going on.
I would hear that.
As Flint,
He's like, look at them, and I point for them to go back.
Bragan's gonna look over her shoulder as she sees Air point.
And there's no one there.
Did they?
They just turned around and walked back.
Okay. At this point, I just shake my head and gesture for Bragan to come to the tent so that we can have some fucking privacy.
Okay.
I want to, as I Air and I'm walking over towards the tent, insight him. I want to see his intentions for calling me over.
All right.
what he's trying to gain from this. Whether or not I should be worried that I'm being invited to his tent.
Snoo snoo.
Mm.
Oh Jesus, not like that.
What's the height difference between the two of them again?
Actually, in his case, it could be anything because he can turn to whatever she fancies.
That's true.
Air is
Insight,
the
insight,
ultimate sex
insight.
toy.
Ew.
It's like ditto.
My
8.
okay, but I have a form.
Roll your deception or whatever. I got an 8 insight because Reagan's
I'm not
as
trying to
good as I
deceive
am.
you, so go ahead.
All right, with that insight, you have a feeling that Air's trying to say something to you, or has plans to speak to you on something. You have no idea what his intentions are, though.
Okay, I'll enter the tent, but I'm keeping just an eye out for anything.
And
Alright.
for your reference, if I'm not changing into something like random, then my normal go-to form is the like middle-aged Norse
Nord.
man. Yeah.
And he's like 6 foot.
Yep, 6 foot on the dot.
6'1".
As you look down at him,
Oh.
Bragan, this man makes you feel or remember something. Your papa. Here makes you recall. All right. As you two enter the tent, Bragan, you see a room that is more classy than any room you've ever stayed in or seen yourself. Plenty of gold, velvet, silk.
Blech. Luxury. She doesn't say that loud. That's just her thoughts. She's just like looking around, basically glossing over anything expensive. She's just looking for anything of note to her, anything that could be a threat, anything that looks important.
Uh,
Just surveying.
okay, yeah, you saw it.
Saw what?
Okay, and would I have noticed the moon tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But again, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Is that alright?
Okay, I suppose so. You're taking my time, but I assume it's important.
I hope it's not. What were you doing this evening?
Hunted deer?
Okay, can you describe your trip for me?
I went out into the woods, hunting the deer. Of course, they traveled farther than normal because of the dragonborn. He scared them to the middle areas, the grasslands. Usually they're in the forest. No use of you. He had elves join me. I got focused on hunting. I'm more a solo person. They dropped off. Did not find sign of them. Killed the deer. Came back. If they are out there, they're probably drunken fools.
Right. Drunken fools missing their scalp, I see.
There were many who died in the battle today. There's a pile of corpses being burnt outside. It's bold of you, to accuse me of anything.
It was
She's
strapped
eyeing him.
to your belt.
It could have been on my shoe. You are forging.
I saw. Anywho, other point. I used to know a blood hunter back in my own town. He'd
Okay.
mentioned never anything of spitting up blood.
Well, not every blood hunter is the same. I learned what I did from my father and his bloodline. We are remote, just family bound. I don't think he would know of any of our tactics or ways. Have you seen me use my blood magic? Can you confirm that this is not the way I normally do things? Still
Can
staring
I
down at him.
can I insight
There,
whether she's lying right now or
I
not?
try to, while doing that, try to intimidate him into maybe backing off a bit.
Give-
Not like, grr, spear me. More like slight puffing up, tone of voice, like you're getting into some dangerous territory there, bud.
Give it a
I'm
moment.
I'm not necessarily saying this to try to counteract, but Air has a very large I don't really care attitude.
No, I know. Go
Is
ahead. Give it a
Reagan?
moment.
Okay,
No, just
I'm
in
rolling.
general.
No.
3. I should start rolling physical dice. Okay.
You should have waited till I
Never
told
hit
you to
me.
roll. Air, roll
Oh.
your insight.
Will do. Well, I still rolled a nat 1, but that's still better. It's a 6.
Alright, yeah.
Well, it wasn't the
Bragan seems to be telling the truth for the most part. You assume that, yeah, it could be a chance that, blood hunters from different regions may, practice blood magic different. Mascaria, did you say something?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
Mm.
And as far as it goes, yeah, you're not sure 100% if she's telling the truth or not on that. You're not convinced, but you're not deceived at this point either.
Fair
Bragan,
enough.
as you try to kind of puff up a little bit, looking scarier, Air doesn't even seem to notice.
Okay. It's fine.
In that case, I'll just shrug, shake my head back and forth, and gesture that she can go.
Very observant. Noted. And she just leaves. No further words.
Okay. As you walk out, Flint, please give me a stealth check.
Am I gonna
Okay.
just run into him right there, ear against the tent door?
This one's an unnatural 20.
As Flint, you managed to get your ear right up against that tent flap after they went in. You were able to hear a majority of the conversation, and as you hear Bragan's very heavy footsteps coming, you managed to slowly walk your way up to the side of the tent, just avoiding as Bragan opens up and heads back to the seat. You notice your goblin friends are still sitting there having a good time drinking.
Awesome. Yo, Gabos, I just found out some crazy goss.
Does she hear him yelling that across from the tent to the fireplace? Does she hear that?
As Flint just suddenly appears out of nowhere, Mascaria, Grim, Bragan, and Air can now all very clearly see where Flint was standing, and is walking back towards the group, yelling this to his goblins.
Reagan's
Oh
gonna
boy.
stand between Flint and the fire and just kind of watch as he approaches. She's not like super threatening, but it's clearly like a, hey, I'm here, stop. We need to chat, which is unusual for Reagan. She doesn't usually want to chat.
Flint, are you moving?
Yeah, he's heading back to the camp.
I'm heading back to the camp, yeah.
How quickly are you moving?
I have a move speed of 40 feet, so I'm like...
Okay, cool.
I'm Naruto
How
running.
quickly are you moving?
I'm like
Are you-
jogging.
Okay.
I'm not sprinting like combat style. So you could
I
like,
would
I guess,
like
stab me if
to-
you wanted.
No. I don't plan on hurting you. I plan on leading the shot just in front of Flint here, and I'm going to throw my hand axe.
Oh, so right between him and Bragan.
Alright, give me an attack roll to see if you can hit right in front of him. This is a called shot. Let me know what you get.
This is indeed. That is a combined 20.
Alright, as you manage to lead the shot just right in front of Flint, the axe goes flying and lands and nicks Flint's nose slightly. Not enough to actually hurt him, just enough to catch his attention. If his nose had metal on it, it would have sparked.
My spell meat!
I am then going to recall my hand axe as it is infused with returning.
Alright. As it suddenly comes back and smacks Flint in the
before.
face this time, as it is not properly being thrown. Flint, you just feel this thing kind of lift off, or see it lift off the ground, it come and smack you straight as it flies back.
Oh, my cheek meat!
And you see Air standing at the entrance to his tent, holding said axe that just smacked you in the cheek and in the nose meat.
Can't say I didn't deserve that one. Whoa! I'm this
Ease up
mercenary
again,
company
buddy.
sweetheart. Woo! I
Oi.
do a backflip. I
Oi.
backflip away.
Was
I'm
he
backflipping.
backflipping too?
As Flint just starts backflipping, he also notices his gobbo buddies are arming themselves and getting ready to defend Flint's honor.
No. It's cool. We're bros. Me and
The-
Air were bros,
Flint.
so like it's bro code.
The
Flint.
goblins put down their weapons.
Cool.
Flint.
Yeah. What's up, dude?
If I catch you eavesdropping again, laddie, you're gonna lose that fucking ear.
Oh, sounds like somebody's angry.
I'll put the other one. Reagan just pipes up from the sidelines, arms crossed, watching.
I give a thumbs up and I go back into the tent where I'm going to start infusing the battle axe with returning.
Okay.
Looks like I really stepped in it this time, gobos.
Oh my fucking
The
Christ!
goblins cheer you on in laughter.
Hell yeah, dude, let's get twisted.
One of them brings out a barrel of ale and pops it open and starts pouring.
Chug.
Miss Garia, as you watch all of this, you hear a rustle coming from behind you, and as you kind of turn around, you see a small bush with two little red horns sticking out of it.
Ooh.
What would you like to
Um,
do?
I'm going to watch it from where I am.
Okay, as you continue to watch, the bush seems to be getting closer, and none of your friends are noticing it.
Hmm. Can I investigate?
Yeah, go ahead and roll investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you sound so fucking cute?
I'm sorry.
Sorry. No,
You're coming
no.
up a little strong there, Cap.
Damn, man. All right. Okay. Jeez. I need that drink if this is gonna keep up. All right, Miss Scaria. As you look on, you see, or you notice that this bush seems to be coming straight towards you. As Air silently curses himself for being weirdo in the background.
I wasn't trying. Okay.
Hey man, whatever you want to do, we're not judging. Just wait till after D&D to come on to the people.
Gonna
I
ruin.
wasn't. Oh, fucking.
Oh man. Okay. Viscaria, looking over, you notice this whatever's moving this bush looks to be a small human and or humanoid, as you can see the toes poking out slightly, and the horns look semi-familiar to you, as they are red and they're not long, but decently sized.
Mm-hmm.
Air, please roll seduction in the background.
Wait, what? No, I was.
Too late. The DM said to do it. Get on it and type it in the chat. Miscaria, is there anything you want to do as you start to notice these things about it?
I've never
Um,
seduced before. How do I seduce?
Charisma roll, man.
Okay.
Who goes there?
Oh, come on.
All right, type it into the chat, Air. Miscaria, as you shout this, the bush kind of freezes suddenly, and you see the horns kind of disappear within it, and nothing happens. Air successfully seduces a duck that he finds in his tent.
Excuse the fuck out of me.
Honk. That's the duck.
Hey, got any
That's-
grapes?
Oh, shut up, all of you. Miscaria.
Hmm. I'll get closer to it.
Okay. Are you stealthily trying to do so, or do you not care?
Hmm. Stealthily.
Okay, give me a stealth check. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. No, do I need to apologize? Captain's already scarred you tonight.
Oh, it's okay.
uh, as you start to kind of get up and quietly match your steps or slow your steps or as best as you can, the bush seems to still wriggle and kind of back up slowly the closer you get.
Hmm. Hmm. I'll just jump on it.
All right, give me a strength check.
Hmm. 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 Oops.
All right. As you go to try and jump on it, pouncing like a cat, slamming down on it, the bush kind of falls flat as you watch as the creature inside of it kind of bounces out to the side and starts turning and running. And you see, as you get a kind of a glimpse of it as you're kind of on this bush awkwardly, you see this little human boy running with red horns on his head.
Hmm.
And he is on a dead sprint running away.
I'll just watch him run.
All right. After a few moments, he seems to disappear into the skylight or into the moonlight, into the forest, vanishing.
Mm-hmm. How strange.
All right. As you rejoin your group, you see that Bragan is blushing, Air is hiding, and you hear honking coming from his tent, and Flint is drinking around, as well as Grim continues his ritual casting now, ignoring the rest of the party. Yes,
Bragan
Bragan.
does not blush, she's soulless.
Bragan
No.
blushes at the sounds of a honking goose as she knows what that means. In her home country, goose honks for you.
Oh.
I am busy doing more important things. Like
Wouldn't
I'm
it
sharpening
be
my
going
you
to
sword
honk
for the
for
place
20th
goose?
this
time.
battle axe in my own fucking skull.
Yes, Flint? What were you saying?
I was saying, like, because, people don't normally honk, so it'd be like the other way around in Mother Russia. It would be you honk for the goose instead of the goose honking for you.
Well, we don't know what way Air swings, so
That's true. He could be a bottom.
very, you know,
You don't even
switch
know what
axe.
gender Air is, let alone
Could
how
be
old
any of
Air
them,
is.
apparently.
Yeah,
You can make
that's
anything
true.
you want.
But position is eternal.
Okay.
Moving on.
I'm adding add that you have now a dire goose to your extras. That is now part of your character. All right. I was going to do something real quick. Let me just correctly look at something, make sure I'm accurate in this. Because I think I wrote this down. Maybe, maybe not. I never do. I always forget shit. All right. Okay. Okay. So, Air, we're gonna come back to you for a moment. As you are in the tent, and you now have a pet goose following you around. You see a letter written on the table or on the desk from where the commander was sitting. And as you look it over, or as you're looking at it, you see that it's addressed to the Great Wolf. It's a simple letter with what looks to be a wolf on sealed in, or as for the wax seal, it is an old piece of parchment. It looks like it's been there for a while. It does not look to have ever been broken.
Do I know who the wolf is?
You have never. Actually, you know what? Give me a history check.
16.
You are one of the only of your kind where you come from. But you remember
True.
reading a history book that the Champions of Pyrrhus published long ago. It was an older copy, not as modern day as the more like the ones that capture the tales of the Grim Legacy, or more of the situation like going on with Rejected Potential. Both groups you've heard of, as they are both pretty famous at this point. But you have older copies that kind of explain some of the histories at the time from a few years ago that were discovered, and you recall reading something about the Great Wolf being a pack leader of a changeling clan, one of the last clans before the great destruction of the changeling people. You don't recall fully what the whole story was, but you recall something along those lines, that the Great Wolf was typically a title for the clan leader.
I am going to open that letter immediately with that knowledge.
Okay, it reads. Um,
Are you gonna PM it?
yes.
Okay.
Give me a moment.
All good.
Hmm?
Welcome back.
Hello.
Nothing, Grim.
Okay.
Nothing as of yet. Just story development on Air's side.
Okay.
Oh, and at
Does
this
this
point,
make any sense to me?
no, you have no idea any of this. Your family never spoke of stuff like this. You recall the changelings were wiped out long ago.
Yeah. I just didn't know if any of these terms would mean anything to Air.
Mm-mm. You are
Um,
familiar that many of the clans took on animal shapes, and thus were really well known for having that shape as their sigil. But that's about it.
I'll fold it back up and I'll put it in my pack and I'll just mull that one over.
Okay. Alright. As the night continues on and you all relax, Flint drinking himself into a boozed coma, giving the full devotion of his Gobbo friends, who now have a +1 to any time that they are attacked. So you can go ahead and add that they have now +1 temporary hit points. And they are fully
Cool.
devoted to you, Flint. So now, even in the face of a fear spell, they will still give their life to protect you.
Oh yes!
You now have meat shields. Congratulations.
Woo!
Grim, you managed to devour the entirety of the alligator, enjoying its meat, its sweet meat. The alligator was very tough and plentiful. You feel overall relaxed and comforted by the situation, as your party members seem somewhat distant to you, but at this point you feel like you may be able to rely on them one day. They aren't as strong as your papa and not as clever as your mama, but they are decent enough compatriots. Mascaria, after seeing that whole situation, you are left pondering, with no clue as of what that was. You retire to your tent to relax for the evening, joining a few of the other members, getting a nicer bed as you find that you have now 2 pillows instead of 1 given to you. Bragan, as you manage to chill and relax, continuing to clean your sword, you on occasion find more bits of elven person on you. Cleaning your sword and tossing them into the fire on occasion. One of the cooks seems to bring you out a small piece of venison that's fully cooked and hands it to you as payment for the meet for the night. As you retire to your own tent, now you find that the rest of your bunkies are all but dead and absent. Looks at Wolf and
Is-
Genshin.
Now, according to the first episode, me and Bragan, do we sleep in the? We don't sleep in the same tent, right?
That is correct. You do not.
Is
You got a whole barricade to yourself.
the snow white haired woman there in
Nope.
the tent that I saw before? Nope. Okay. Making note. So there, who all is in there?
No one. You are alone.
No one. Oh, okay.
It seems none of the
Start-
compatriots from your unit managed to survive.
Start rearranging, making space for me then.
As you kind of relax and pass out, enjoying the evening and the quiet for once with no snoring, no annoyance. You see that Flint's bed that was in here, because you did sleep in the same tent the first night. I did actually just realize that because I'd forgotten about that note. Has been moved to another tent to make space. But it seems that for the time being, Flint has passed out outside with his goblins curled up next to the fire in a drunken stupor.
Of course.
Curled up, snoring. The goblins have all cuddled up next to him. He is very warm and very comforted by the evening night.
In his sleep, he's saying, "Hell yeah." Hell yeah,
And
dude.
everyone
Why
who
don't we
walks
just be
by
friends?
Flint feels awkward as they hear that.
We're bros now.
As soon as he sees movement.
Flint dreams of nothing but fluffy clouds, toga parties, and plenty of drinking with his friends.
Hell yeah, dude. Beer pong.
Beer pong. Oh boy.
As Flint starts to picture throwing little rubber balls, or little balls of coal into glasses or mugs of ale, as an old drinking game back in Dragon's Gate he played with the local dwarves. That's gonna become canon now. I just know it. Don't put coal in your mead or your alcohol. It is poisonous for you. Do not ingest coal. It's not good for you. We do not condone that here at the Silent Twitch. And as you begin to kind of go through your letters, go through the files and cabinets, nothing else eventually catches your interest. You finally relax, cuddling up next to your dire goose, and pass out.
I do not cuddle with the goose.
The goose
can sleep on
cuddles
the
you.
floor.
Air wakes
Hey,
up
do you
to
guys
find
like
you.
roast chicken? It might taste a little funny.
Okay, wait. I have something for this. All right. You wish to fight the dire goose? You shall fight the dire goose. I have something for this.
Can I just like kill it in its sleep or something?
Nope.
Like a true.
You would have to bet
clever
it
assassin.
first.
Lint?
You'd have to
You?
lull it into a pleasure stupor to make the killing blow.
All right. Give me a moment.
Yep. Okay, Jesus fucking
Un
Christ.
momento,
Why do I
please.
do this to myself? I could have gone to college.
Okay. Let me get a moment. All right. As you awaken, please roll initiative.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You are fighting the dire goose.
I got a 12.
Woo!
All right. You go first as the dire goose stands up. Is ready for battle. It senses your intentions.
You
I'm
should have known not to
assuming-
fight Goose, the final boss.
I'm assuming it's just right in front of me.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna swing the battle axe at it.
Okay. Roll to hit.
Okay. Does a 13 hit?
As you go to swing at the goose nimbly dodges out of your way as this goose is combat tested.
Motherland approved.
I only have one attack per action, so that's it.
Give me a strength saving throw, please.
I've reached my peak of
18.
comedian.
As the
tonight.
dire goose charges straight at you, it knocks you to the ground, doing 7 points of bludgeoning damage as the goose
Are
smacks you with
fucking
its wings.
shitting me?
No.
Do any of us hear this?
Nope.
Mm,
You are
okay.
knocked prone, and the goose is smacking you with its wings.
Should have just made sex with it.
Shut up.
Go ahead, Air.
Weka, how would that work?
It's your turn. Just to let you know, I rolled low on its health. It could have had up to 110 health, so you got lucky.
What?
What CR is it for a level 2?
I would like to sweep its legs to knock it prone.
Alright,
got web
it's gonna
feet,
do a
it shouldn't be
dexterity
good at
saving
balance.
throw. Alright, give me a dexterity check to see if you can do this.
Okay. Does a 7 succeed?
As the goose jumps over your foot, ignoring it, and drops to the ground. You are still prone.
Does that count as an attack?
Yep.
Ah!
So you can either use your movement to get up, or you
I gotta get up.
Okay, that's half your movement, so you can't do anything else. Unless you...
You should probably go get help,
Kick it in
dude.
the goose balls.
Goose
My
is...
pride will not let me get down by a goose.
Does a 24 hit.
No fucking way. It got a 24. Are you shitting me?
18 plus 6.
Probably like a CR 4 plus.
Alright, that's 3, 5. That is a total of 9 points of bludgeoning damage as it smacks you with its wing again.
How much do you have, Aaron?
Don't fucking worry about it.
Oh! Ow! Oh god!
It's fine.
No, it's not. But okay. You're
Go
being
ahead,
someone.
Aaron, it's your turn. You're standing up now.
I wish I was a barbarian because I am in a fit of fucking rage. I'm going to
Don't
swing
you have
my
that golem?
axe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it can't fit inside the tent. I'm just.
Actually,
I'm
Golem
gonna
is
swing.
sitting inside of his tent currently.
You know what? Whatever. I don't care. I don't fucking care. I'm gonna swing the battle axe again and try to hit the fucking goose.
Alright.
Does a nat 20 fucking hit?
Please roll to confirm.
Yay.
Please. Please.
Doesn't confirm.
Okay, so double dice rolls.
Just double damage?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is it double damage or roll twice?
Roll twice. You have a better chance of getting a higher score that way.
Okay. That's a total of 18 damage.
As you slice into the goose, you manage to cut one of its wings off. It looks mad at you.
Okay.
Would you like to attack again?
Do I have an opportunity to attack?
You haven't moved.
Then yeah, I'm gonna attack again.
Alright, go ahead.
You think I'm not aware?
I'm just.
20 combined to hit.
That hits.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm sleeping right outside, dude.
He's passed.
12
fireplace.
damage.
Alright, as you slice into this goose, continuing to smack into its wound, it's starting to spit up blood slightly.
Okay.
Looking at you, it's gonna charge you again. Give me a strength saving throw.
Be nice if you had a tank with you.
I am a tank. 18.
Alright.
17.
Okay, give me a moment. That's 5. And that's 7 points of bludgeoning damage as it smacks into you again, knocking you over.
Say it, Captain.
The goose just charges straight on, headbutting into fucking air.
Ah,
Hasn't happened in
I
ages.
died.
Oh, Air, are you
You're
down?
down.
No. My dignity is everywhere.
Air, fall. Last thing you see
You
is
have
as this
1
goose just
HP left.
headbutts you. Oh, are you still up?
No.
No, he had 1 HP left.
As this dire goose just charges head first, the last thing you see is this thing is smacking you in the stomach as you keel over, spitting up blood and falling on top of the goose. You hear honk, and then everything goes dark.
Oh my god. Level 2. Please tell me one of us hears it.
Did he die?
No,
Am I dead,
no,
Royce?
nope.
The ghost will use your dead
Okay.
body.
The
Unconscious
next
body.
morning, Flint, as you awaken, you're feeling pretty good, Flint. You're a little hungover, but it's been a good day.
Partied so hard last night. That was sick.
One of the goblins kind of looks at you and he's pointing towards the tent, towards Air's commanding tent, and just keeps pointing.
What is that?
He speaks in
Air accidentally
gibberish.
made friends with the goose, and the goose misinterpreted his advances as sexual, and he tried to defeat the goose in single combat but failed miserably?
It nods.
Holy crap.
And then at the end it starts
That is
doing finger
psychic.
motions again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over there.
As you walk in there, you see a very large goose sitting on top of unconscious Air, who is face down in the dirt with blood coming out of his mouth.
Uh-oh. That's a bad one. Can I make like a medicine check or something to like? Well,
Yeah.
actually no. The
The goose is
the
sitting
goose
on
is
him.
right on top of him, right?
And it's
So
missing a wing, and it's snoring.
could I? Hmm.
Ow.
Hmm. It's sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
My head hurts.
Can I make like an animal handling check to like wake it up like in a friendly way?
Turn
Yeah.
this fucker into a companion, and I will eat your head.
I got a 17 on animal handling.
The goose wakes up as you kind of go up and start like slowly and start to kind of pet its neck. As you
Hey,
recall,
dude.
the geese from from Dragon's Gate really like to be pet very softly on the neck down to the back and only in one direction. As you start doing, the goose kind of slowly opens its eyes and then it nudges its head against you and starts to kind of playfully move you around with its big head.
Oh, dude, you're so cool. You're real friendly, ain't you?
It kind of just continues to nudge you.
All right, but now, you know what they say. If you love something, you gotta set it free. And I'm gonna. How big is this goose?
This is a large goose. This goose is 6 feet tall.
Could I try and?
This
I'm
is
just
a
gonna like try and
mount.
like. Yeah, I'm gonna see like, okay, buddy, time to go.
The goose.
And I'm gonna start gently
Mhm.
nudging him out of the tent.
The goose stands up and follows your lead.
I say, and once we get up to the tent, I'm like, all right, be free, and I like bring my hands up wide to try and like get it to like fly away.
It
With
nudges
one
you.
wing.
It nudges you with its head and then goes and sits down next to the goblins, and the goblins seem to kind of lay around
Isn't it one-winged?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the goblins have now made it as a friend. As you turn around, Flint, to look in the tent, you also see there is now a large egg on Air's back.
Fuck.
Omelet.
It's at this point
No,
that
that's gonna make.
Miscaria, Grim, and Bragan finally come out and are sitting around the fire pit and see this giant
Miscaria, you're
goose.
good
How?
with animals, right?
Have I seen this giant goose like ever heard of giant geese before in my time in travel?
Nope.
Does it seem a formidable foe?
It looks pretty scarred up as it's missing a wing.
Noted. I've made note.
Go ahead, Flint.
Miscaria, are you good with animals?
Hmm. I'm decent.
Can you like tell this goblin or not goblin, goose to like shove off?
I will
I think he
attempt.
hurt air. Yeah, I think he hurt El real bad, and like, I don't know if you want him around. He's the boss and stuff.
Don't mind me, I'm just dying.
Oh yeah, and if you get a
Bleeding
chance,
out
you should
the
probably heal
tent.
him too. He's bleeding out in the tent.
It's an egg on him.
I'll go first to Air.
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 As you walk into the tent, you see Air passed out or on the ground, face first in the dirt, blood all around his head, and a very large spotted or black spotted egg with gray spots on
See,
top
here's
of him.
the thing. Flint
Ooh.
and both Muscaria don't see what they remember as air. They see an unconscious gray 16-year-old girl. When unconscious, changelings go back to their regular form.
That's true. And they also see an egg sitting on top of it.
There's a weird
She had an
alien thing
egg.
inside there that needs healing.
All right.
Ooh.
As you look in Miscaria, you see the egg and you see the small gray-looking humanoid. You've never seen one of these
Mhm.
before.
Mm. I want to look at the egg first.
Okay. As you walk, as you walk up, kind of avoiding, walking around the blood puddle, you feel the egg is moving somewhat, and you hear something coming from inside of it. A slight
No.
chirping.
No.
Hmm.
Just
want
they
to-
should period on eggs.
I'll pick it
Hold
up.
on a second. Did the egg make babies? Is the
Did
egg
the-
a baby of?
Did the egg make babies?
I don't know how sex works.
How Reagan's eyeing Flint and is like, perhaps you should lay off the alcohol a bit more.
You just see Flint
no,
looking in
no.
the in the tent and then saying this, confused.
I think Air's a parrot.
Ew. Ew. It's a goose.
Half goose, half changeling, all cute. I'll be their cool uncle. Or like
Air, you've
like
become
party-
conscious at this point. You are semi-conscious. You can hear all of this.
or like party godfather, you know?
Can I reach for my
I think
axe?
that would be an awful idea for the
You
child.
cannot.
What, you think I can't raise a kid?
Yes, exactly. For once, you make sense to me. I'm so glad you are at least partially sober for once. Yes, this
No, I
is
think
an
I'd make a good
awful
dad.
idea.
I think if I took it seriously, I could do it.
Miscaria, as you're looking at this egg, you realize this is a dire goose egg. You remember seeing these in the wild. They're pretty popular as traveling mounts for a lot of medium races.
Mm.
They're very intelligent.
Ooh.
Somebody help.
Can I keep it?
Has
As-
Reagan seen everything going on in the tent yet, or is she still watching Flint and the giant goose?
She's still watching. Sees Flint just looking into the tent, and then turning, looking back at Bragan continuously. Miscaria, yeah, you figure you could probably take this thing and hatch it.
You said I'm awake
Yeah.
now, right?
I think
You're conscious.
take
You're
it
not
to
able to
my-
move.
I
Go
I
ahead.
tent.
turn back
Okay.
into my fucking Nord form.
Alright, Mascaria, as you're kind of picking this egg up, you see suddenly the small gray humanoid starts to morph back into what you recognize as air.
Oh, let me heal you.
Thank you.
Setting down the egg, either roll medicine or if you have cure wounds.
My everything hurts.
Pretty sure the healer is the dragonborn.
Yeah, Grim, are
He's
you here
probably
still?
asleep.
I think Grim's just chilling.
Sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Both in and out of character.
Mm-hmm. Alright. With that, you managed to get air up to 1 HP. Just enough to get air to be able to move.
Uh-huh.
And here I'm gonna try. I'll leave it. As Air as you're looking about, you see the giant egg, and you don't see the goose anymore. Air, as Mascaria is picking up the egg and leaving. You also see Flint at the open tent flap, looking at you, looking back out at the goose, where you see the goose has now started cuddling with the goblins.
The gears are turning in his head.
I'm going to dress my own wounds.
Okay. Roll medicine.
Okay.
Yep, there goes Grim.
10.
Alright, you managed to gain 1 more HP as or 1 more hit point. As you wrap your stomach up with the massive bruises, you see an imprint of a goose head on it.
You got a goose egg. Get it?
Alright. Do I hear that?
Yeah.
I would like to half-ass throw something at Flint.
A weapon,
The
a bottle.
nearest object.
Your axe.
Axe you grabbed? That you said you grabbed earlier?
Well,
that is
I said
something,
I
Air.
want to reach for my axe. He said I couldn't yet.
Air, that battle axe you had,
Yeah?
that you made, is gone.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I go to retrieve it. It has the infusion on it now.
As you use your infusion, you hear a goose honk.
What's
and
wrong?
Continues to honk, annoyed.
Is it in the goose?
Did you eat something that
Cut it
disagrees
from
with you?
Cut it from the inside out.
Noticing that there's a honking sound when I summon it, I try to summon it a little bit more intensely.
Does a 25 hit, Air?
Oh my god.
As
Yes, it does. It does. It
as
does.
the goose starts to kind of slowly is honking like mad as it slowly its ass is heading straight towards the tent flap. Flint, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Uh-oh.
It's ass.
Dex save. That's gonna be a 12.
As you try to, Flint, you're looking at, as Air's holding his hand out, trying to do something you're completely confused on. Suddenly, something smacks you in the back of the head, knocking you face planting into the dirt hard. As something very large and soft smacks your back.
Oh!
Air, you just see as this goose smacks into Flint, knocking him over, and comes charging at your hand.
Summoning the axe.
It's too late. It's coming at you as your hand goes straight in, and you fall over. The goose honks with terrifying annoyance and is screaming.
Do anyone else in the camp notice this now? Like Bragan and the others?
Bragan, as you're looking about, you see Mascaria walking around with this giant egg, and you see most of the rest of the camp is trying to just ignore the situation that's going on. As Air screeches out as he implants his hand inside a goose.
I would like to rip out the
Ew.
battle axe, please.
Give me a strength check. It's going to resist at disadvantage.
17.
As you pull and pull, you finally manage to wedge something out. And out comes the handle. And that's it. The goose seems both relieved and violated at the same time as it is looking at you. If a goose could blush, it is blushing at you.
I cut out. I
Bow chicka
meant to
wow
ask a
wow.
question. Can Bregan tell how powerful and or near death this goose is that is currently having an axe pulled out of its unspeakables?
Its ass? This goose
Yeah.
looks pretty tough.
Please.
Cloaca, whatever the bird has.
Uh,
Looks pretty tough. Doesn't look near death even with one wing missing.
no?
Okay. Okay. Bregan will make note.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Should have stayed
Future
home,
boss.
Flint. Should have stayed home.
Flint says as he watches the show.
I'm like face first in the dirt.
Oh.
Alright.
Oh, man.
Hi, I have returned.
You gained the handle. The blade's gone.
I try summoning again. Does the handle come to me, or does the broadhead start coming closer?
The handle comes out completely early and is but like in your hand now.
I set the handle down. I
No.
look at the goose square in the eyes, and I nod.
The goose shakes its head and gets ready to run.
I'm going to grapple the goose.
Give me strength check. He's gonna make an athletics roll.
This is a natural 20.
Better than that one. You grab it, pinning it down, shoving your hand back in. At this point, Flint, you're getting up as you're watching Air grappling the goose to the ground and shoving his hand right in its sphincter. And you hear as this poor goose honks out in utter defiance and continues to struggle. Air, give me a strength check to see if you can pull the handle. In all my days, I've never had a player do this.
That's another unnatural 20.
Updating them, time, boys.
As you pull the axe, as you get your fingers in around the portion of the blade's handle that attached onto the wood, pulling out, you manage to
Edit
get
from
it
the
out
inside.
as the goose cries out, and you're not sure at this point, as you don't speak goose, if this is pleasure or pain. As you get the handle out of the goose, it honks very loudly and charges off, running away, basically stomping onto Flint back into the ground.
But I got the broadhead.
Yeah.
I would like to go to the nearest river and wash myself and the broken axe.
Alright. I need a minute. I gotta go compose myself. I'm gonna be right back.
Oh my god, this session, how did it go from serious to this? This is the most D&D thing. All you had to do was just leave the goose be. What have you started? What have
Look,
you
man,
started?
I don't fucking know.
I cannot wait for Cyrus and the others to see this when this is uploaded.
I called Muscaria cute. I was trying to say that she sounded cute. It was just fucking.
You
I'm
did say
sorry.
she sounded cute. You just said it in a way that was
I was, you
funny.
know. I'm sorry.
Just don't die in a goose battle. When we're stronger, we can take on the geese. But they're formidable foes.
So I learned.
You have to learn to bend the
Huh?
Oh,
No, Flint left and rejoined. Flint, hello.
Yep.
Words of wisdom from the frat boy about this scenario.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you just
Don't
gotta
screw
learn to
these kids.
bend the knee sometimes, dude. You
uh,
gotta know when to hold
Shut
'em.
your fucking mouth before I have
Know
an
when to
aneurysm.
hold 'em. Know when to walk away.
Sacrifice Flint to the
Know
geese.
when. Know when to run. You gotta count your money when
This
you're
is
at
why
the
Flint's not a
table.
bard.
Ow, that hurt. That hurt. His feelings are hurt.
Yeah, well, how do you think I feel?
All of
Huh?
Hey man,
Captain's
at least you're
hurt right
getting
now.
attention from somebody.
Yeah, I started to.
Yeah, Flint's all alone.
I was gonna let for one more.
It's just me and the boys, you know.
Very good. Don't. I am not in exactly the best mental state to be messed with at the moment.
So I mean, you're the leader, right, Captain? So like, or
Flint,
no,
I need to
Air.
pick up some sushi real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna go look for Grim.
I don't know what these things are. Man, tuna, or not tuna, just fucking sushi in general is weird. Good, but weird. Like, where do you
Sushi?
get these names? Yeah, I'm getting sushi.
Sushi? I had sushi like 2 days ago. It's good.
That is good.
Very tasty.
I've been craving sushi.
Anytime I hear the word sushi, I just crave it. Like I had it like 2 days ago. I would still go for sushi tonight.
In all my days,
No,
I've
no,
never
no,
had a
no,
player
no.
violate a goose.
To be fair, the goose tried to violate him first.
Yeah.
Retribution.
I wanted my axe. I just made it. I wasn't letting it go that easy.
Can I recommend a name for the axe?
No.
I got a really good
The
name.
Sphincter Slayer.
I was gonna say the Hyonk Slayer.
It's called the Hyonkening, damn it.
The hyonkany.
Feel free to add that. Is
Hyonkening.
now becoming a notable item.
Once you hyonk, you can't stop.
Would it
Once
gain
you go
any
hyonk,
extra
you never
power?
go beyonk.
What?
Yeah.
Would it gain any extra power from being inside this creature?
From the goose butt juices.
You
You
have,
have
you
plus
have
1 to
advantage.
scrambling eggs.
You
Yeah,
got
it's really.
+1 to goose.
Yeah, I
Got
can't think
goose
of another one. Go
pheromones
for
on
it.
it.
Huh?
You can cast animal friendship on geese as many times as you want with the axe.
Flint, I'm going to gut you.
Wait.
You gotta catch me first.
Wait. Give me a moment.
Thank you. The light.
I zoom away.
DM is making note of something.
Where? Okay, I need to go to Battle Axe. I need to customize it, and its name is now.
The Hyonkening.
Yep. Hold on. I need an O with an umlaut. Umlaut, please. Just give me the fucking O, the umlaut. No.
Okay,
no.
I will craft it later. I'll craft you a magic item for it later. You are getting something special for it.
Aw.
I'm glad it wasn't for nothing.
You're gonna hate me. But,
Yeah, I've already. I'm not enjoying how this went.
okay. So as the goose leaves, Miscaria leaves with the egg. Bragan starts to take notes of, well, Yonkerson Jr. Air just walks out of his tent, stepping on Flint, as Flint's face is shoved further into the dirt, and heads towards the small river nearby. that's where we're gonna end today's session because I have something planned for next session that needs to go through.
Oh no.
Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we will see you next time. I can't get my composure back. I'm sorry. That's the end of